And we're live. Yes, people, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have another live watch along today, but there's two games being played at the same time. Group A's final day should be concluded today. Win, lose, draw. There will be two teams entering into the round of 16 starting on Saturday. So today we'll be watching the Netherlands taking on Qatar and Senegal versus Ecuador. There's still all to play for three of the sides as well. For obviously the Netherlands, Ecuador, and Senegal, the host Qatar crashed out after losing to Senegal 3-1 on Friday. So we'll have to see how they will battle today for their pride, at least in front of their home fans. Got my brother CM in the building as always. What you saying, my bro?
Bless, man. It's gonna be an interesting day. An interesting day. You're hoping that Senegal can come true. Yeah, I mean, we're supporting the African nation once again. Yeah, I mean, heading the cup, big up.
Come on, come on. CM's already picked his game. We ain't even discussed it, bro. He's picked his game already, bro. He's saying, I'm Senegal, bro. So you want,
what you say, man? It's up to
no,
you, bro.
no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'll watch Netherlands and Qatar. You picked your game, bro.
I was prepared to do anything. I was prepared.
All right. All right, we're about 5 minutes from kickoff. We're gonna run through these lineups real quick, just for the people so that they can see that. And then yeah, I'm watching Netherlands. CM we watching Senegal, Ecuador, and we should go from there. So we'll just run through the starting lineups for both of these games real quick. So for the Netherlands, we've got Nopper in goal. We've got a back three of Jurien Timber, Virgil van Dijk, Nathan Ake. The wing backs will be Daley Blind and Denzel Dumfries. Then in midfield, you've got David Klassen, Martin de Roon, and Frankie de Jong. And then up front, we'll have Cody Gakpo and Memphis Depay. Then for the Qatari team, you have Barsham in goal. You've got a back five of Pedro Miguel, Hassan, Ahmed, Karuki, and Mohammed. Then a midfield three of Hatem, Al Haydos, and Madibo. And up front, you have Afif and Ali. Now, let me just quickly go back here and go to this game here. And we go through the Ecuadorian side. And we've got Galindez, Torres, Hincapi, Estupan, Prisado, Gurezo, Franco, Casado, Estrada, Valencia, and Plata. And then for Senegal, we have Mendy, Koulibaly, Jacobs, Sebali, Diallo, Gay, Cis, Ndai, Sa, Gay, and Bouladia. So, what do you think about both of these teams here on your game, my bro?
Yeah, I mean, having Enna Valencia in this game was big because he was stretchered off in the last one. So it's good to have him back, top scorer in the tournament so far with 3 goals. They're gonna need him again today. Ecuador, it's crucial to have him in the team. His goal scoring threat has been really good so far. And for Senegal, you know what they have to do in the end of the day. They lost against the Netherlands. It was an unlucky game, and then they got that 3-1 victory against Qatar, which was crucial to their chances of winning. It's a winner take all situation, which is very exciting in the end of the day. Hey, Ronan, I'm giving you one more chance. Are you sure you don't want to be on this side?
No, you're good. Stay on your game,
But yeah, man, listen, it's a really exciting game in the end of the day. Ecuador, they can secure qualification with a win. If they better the Netherlands result, they can actually finish top of the group. So it'll be also interesting to see if they can do that. But yeah, the most crucial part for them, we know what we're going to see from both teams. This is the final game in the group. Okay, there may be some tension early on, but it's going to open up as the game goes by. Alusi say, he said the concentration has to be better in this game, and that's something I totally agree with. You know, he mentioned how we could have avoided conceding that goal against Qatar. Obviously, they got their first World Cup goal ever, but they still will be crashing out. But the concentration has to be better, because if you do concede a goal in this game, which will be a lot more competitive than it was in the Qatar game, then you don't know how the players are going to react. So the concentration has to be up there today in this game if they want to make it through.
Yeah, I mean, I think your game's going to be a really, really good game. Tense, as you mentioned before in the beginning. But yeah, as you mentioned as well, it will open up. And it's going to be interesting to see because obviously any 3 of those teams can actually qualify out of this group, and one of them is going to crash out, and it will be a very disappointing kind of crashing out for all of them because you look at the kind of good start that Ecuador have gotten. They want to win this game to be able to get out of the group. Now Senegal also representing Africa. They want to be one of the teams that kind of make history, potentially make history, you know, as being one of 3 teams to make it into the last 16 for the first time. But then obviously you've got Netherlands, a lot of people's dark horses who, you know, potentially people are saying maybe could sneak in there and get into a semi-final and a final and win the World Cup finally in terms of their history, in terms of the tournament. So it's pretty interesting. Obviously for me, I'm not really expecting much from Qatar except for battling for pride. And obviously they're playing against, you know, a very formidable opponent in the Netherlands. Obviously, a lot of complaints have been made around Louis van Gaal and the way he plays football and all of this type of stuff. Maybe it's a bit outdated now. Some of the choices he's made with some of the players and the starting lineup and whatnot. But I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm hoping to see goals in my game at least. I'm hoping to see a lot of goals from the Netherlands in my game. I know your game's going to be very tense, but it's going to be very exciting too. So, I mean, I'm ready to kick off pretty soon.
I'm just seeing the Ecuadorian team huddle, that final team talk before it really begins, before the final group games begin.
We've kicked off here. Netherlands are going to be going in. Yo, this is in here. Look, bruv, nah, Chino, you're moving mad.
What's going on,
fam? You're moving mad, fam. What is going on here? What is going on? But big up to everybody in here. Big up NN. Senegal better win or they're out. Yep, 100%. Big up Santi as well. You got stuck with the Netherlands Qatar game. Me. It's me, fam. I'm stuck with the game, fam. But I guess I see goals. I see goals in the future. Hey. And CM came in here off rip. He was like, yeah, I'm doing Senegal's game. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind. I don't really mind, bro. I don't mind. But CM came in here.
It was open until the very end, fam. You know, don't do that now. Hey, we're 30 seconds in, though. Hey.
No.
Fam, if that's your autocorrect, fam, it's P. What's going on?
It's definitely not. You're a liar. That's what I'm saying. Big liar. Please tell me real. Nah, CM got the Senegal game. The AFCON last game. Yeah. Yeah. If you remember when we was doing AFCON, fam, some of the games that I picked, yeah, they were duds. CM had some good games when we was doing these little afternoon things with the groups at the same the games at the same time. Ooh. But yeah. No, I'm Netherlands. CM's gonna give you.
Listen, yeah. Let me say it now so everybody on the stream knows. Next time I'm taking the graveyard shift, man, because I don't want to get blamed.
Yo, tomorrow's gonna be interesting as well. Obviously, we've got Group C and D. Those games that's gonna be in the afternoon. It's gonna be Australia, Denmark, Tunisia, France. Should be very interesting as well. So. I don't think they're going to be dead rubber games. I think everybody's got a shout of qualifying, to be honest with you, from that group still. So it's going to be interesting in those games still. Yank saying my manager's allowing me 4 hours off work early to go home and watch the USA-Iran game. That's interesting. Very interesting. I think for everybody here, they're going to be off work, so they're going to be watching that wherever they'll be watching it. In terms of England and Wales. Hope Qatar beat LVG. That's going to be interesting if that happens. I doubt it, though. It'd be a big shock. Probably the biggest shock after the one that we've seen earlier on in the tournament with Saudi Arabia and Argentina. Probably the biggest shock in World Cup history.
Imagine that.
One of our midfielders is celebrating his 20th birthday today. So what a gift it would be. Who is that? Yank? Let us know. I say Netherlands crash out and Qatar get the win. That's what you want. Whether that will ever happen, I doubt it. The fact of the matter is,
for Senegal, early chance, just wide, hits the side netting. Wow, it just a gone again. It was crossed into the box, and he just found it
Memphis?
just to go on the gate.
Davy Classy, Blind. Ooh, over the bar. That's a goal kick. There's a bit of a mix-up between the goalkeeper and defender for Qatar. Memphis was in the box. Bit of a bad challenge. Ball gets loose, breaks to Davy Classy, and he slips. Tries to take a shot, then Blind takes a shot, hits the keeper, and then it rebounds back to Blind. He tries to volley it, but it's well over the bar. Big up man like Dizzy in here, man. Said it's fuse. Hey, nah. Hey, I hope the Koreans are on your neck still, fam. After that defeat. I hope they're not still. But big up man like Dizzy in here still. Chino, you're wild. I'm not reading that comment. I'm not bringing it on the screen, bro. He said, who do you want from Juve since they're sinking? I don't know. Pog back in it.
Let's say Pog back times 2, fam.
No. I don't know. I haven't actually looked at the news like properly. I saw a lot of people talking about it last night, but I haven't actually like sat down to read it just yet.
Yeah, same. Sounds wild though. I mean, the board just stepping down.
Yeah, because if this is like how it was in 06 when they got relegated, it was a very interesting time because obviously at that time they had like some legends of the game who were like, I'm staying true to my team and I'm gonna stick it out. And then there was others that just said, yeah, I'm not staying for this, bro. I'm not playing in the second division, bro. I'm leaving. So it'd be interesting to see if there'll be players like that this time around, if some action like that happens from the Italian FA, because I think in today's game, there's a lot of ego now, and so and not a lot of loyalty. So they'll jump ship as soon as they realize the fate. They're gonna be gone. So
that's it. It's not the day and age of loyalty these days, man.
Drizzy, you know what? We haven't decided this one yet, but I would assume that in the evening there's gonna be a lot more people. So obviously, whoever on each side, whichever game they've pulled up watching is whatever they're watching. If everybody's watching one game, then somebody's gonna have. There's gonna be at least 2 people maybe watching the other game, so we can get a bit of some coverage across both games. So we'll see. I think I might watch that game though. I think I've already put my name down for that one. I think I'll watch that game still because that's an interesting one. I can't lie. There's obviously political ties to it as well as the football inside. But what was you gonna say?
I was gonna say that one is an interesting game. I was even reading up about what happened in 1979. Obviously, that's when the tension really started and onwards. And when they faced off in the 1998 World Cup, I believe.
Yep.
All of the stuff around that and how the focus really was on that USA and Iran game, but it's a very interesting political history that still is kind of around now. The heat maybe not be as big as it was back then, but there's still tension around. Did you see the press conference with Tyler Adams?
Yeah, I literally seen the clip. I literally just seen it. Very interesting. I mean, it's good that journalists are posing these kind of questions. At the end of the day, we need to hear this from them. You know, like they're human beings too. They experience the same things that everybody does in all walks of life. So it was interesting. His answer was good. I'd say his answer was pretty good. Like he knew how to tackle that question, which is good for him. But the journalists had to just make sure, like, say the country's name correctly, please, because the way Americans say it is a bit off key. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fam. They got that American English, fam. Completely different. But yeah, I've always it was refreshing to see a journalist ask a question like that in the end of the day. Because a lot of people they say, separate politics and football, but it's clear that can't be done. That it just can't be done.
Yeah, we got to stop.
Seen it for many years now, whether it be football, basketball, any sports, that politics is always involved, because in the end of the day, life is life, innit? You can't separate life from something just because you want to enjoy it. Don't agree. Charge 20%. Just draws the shot wide, dear. had a brilliant opportunity in the box. The right side of the box was put in. And he just drags the shot wide of the goal. He was onside. It was a great turn right there by Sabali. And then Dia had a great opportunity. He just needs to get the shot on target. And he got it all wrong. But right now, Senegal have looked good, and especially creating a couple of chances early on in this game. Ecuador looking shaky defensively.
We're having a few stoppages here. A couple of head clashes have happened now, involving 2 Qatari players, 1 Dutch player. Daley Blin's down. He's got back up. He seems fine. And then because I feel like on ITV1 they're showing the Netherlands game, so that's why that's happening. Yeah, that 3rd place AFCON game, bro. I was out with my family eating, fam, and I get a call from Rich saying, "Hey, we're supposed to. They're playing the third place game," and me and Rich screamed down the phone at each other. I was like, "What? I thought it was on Sunday." Yo, that was wild. This time, I know that the 4th place game is happening on the Saturday before the World Cup final on Sunday, so we'll make sure we bring that game to you. We're not missing that game.
Hey, I'm Drizzy. There's nothing I can do there, bro. I'm out here on ITV X, where they call it. You know how that thing goes already, fam. It's kind of feet still.
This is Chino looking suspect. Yunus Musa is the one that's turning 20 years old today. Yes, people, make sure you hit that like button. That's if we don't care about the Netherlands game. We care about Senegal, Ecuador. Hey, I'm just giving you updates. I don't know what's going to happen in this game. It's going to be interesting, though. They said, nah, keep that judge man away from Juve. They sinking, and Ten Hag slowly pulling us out of the mud. He can stay away. Pogba's witch doctor proper hates Pogba. Onana left the Cameroon camp today. I stand with Onana. He said, big man, you're coming back to Serie B, fam. I think Syria might find them. They need Juventus in the league. There's a question from NN off topic, but who do you think goes through from CONCACAF and the next World Cup? So you get 6 spots. 3 of them already taken. 3 of them already taken. So who are the other 3?
That's an interesting question still. So in this World Cup, we had Costa Rica, Mexico, US as well,
and Canada.
Boy, my heart's saying Jamaica's gonna get there from CONCACAF, but I'm not entirely confident with them just because of the way that the JFF have operated in recent years. A lot would have to change for us to be serious contenders, because obviously we were close. Let's not get that wrong. We were close in regards to that, but at the same time, there were a lot of inconsistencies, whether it came to our coach being sacked and then having an interim, new players coming into the setup. I said England B ain't getting in, fam. Nah, don't tell it. You know what? Yeah, just for that, fam. I'm going with Jamaica. So we have 1 extra spot. 1 extra spot for the World Cup. So yeah, I say Jamaica, man.
Oh wait, really? Is it?
Do you have?
I thought you had 4. Is it 4 or 5? 4 or 5?
I'm not sure. Let me see. We got the 4 qualifications, and then I'm not too sure. I have to check.
And you get a playoff or something like that, right? Or
yeah,
with a South American team, I guess. I don't know.
Obviously, US, Mexico, and Canada won't be a part of the qualification process this time around. So,
I think Costa Rica. I think Costa Rica will. Oh, okay. So Santi says you get 3 spots and 1 playoff. So who's the player? Who's the playoff against that? Because obviously, I know Canada finished top of the group. It would have been the US and then Mexico. Costa Rica would have come 4th. So who did they play to get here to Qatar? Because I think Costa Rica will struggle next time around. Their squad is aging, and I think in 4 years' time you'll see a whole new look. There'll be at least 5, 6 new players coming into that side, which I don't think may help them. If it does, then it'll be interesting. They would have come through a lot of that. Okay, yeah. So it's the Asian group. So yeah, Costa Rica beat New Zealand. Fair enough. So you see, if you're having a playoff, right? Let's say New Zealand aren't the best side, so there's an opportunity for CONCACAF to for another CONCACAF team, and we don't have an Oceania team, basically. Blin take a shot high over the bar. Yeah, that was a chance there for Holland.
I think Panama, because Panama were close to qualifying as well. Panama could possibly have an opportunity of getting into the World Cup, definitely from the CONCACAF, because they were close enough in 5th spot in the final table. Obviously, Jamaica was 6th. We had El Salvador, Honduras 7th and 8th. It would depend. I'll have to look at their teams more in depth to see what the shape of their squads are, because obviously 4 years is a long time in a footballer's career, especially if you have a more experienced side. Those guys could probably be phased out, and you try and go for a younger option to grow for the future. So it'll be interesting to see how those teams could be shaped going forwards in the next round of the qualifying process. Santi saying Costa Rica, Panama, Jamaica, Honduras, or El Salvador.
Ooh, cross into the box by Dumfries, cut out and out for a corner to the Netherlands. Yeah, I agree in terms of you have to kind of wait to see when the qualification process begins. You don't know what kind of targets some of these nations have set within their FAs to say, okay, we can qualify for the next World Cup and this is how we're going to do it, type of thing. And the next thing you know, in the qualification process, you got a team that just starts putting together wins. Then all of a sudden they're top of the qualifying group and they could potentially get to their first ever World Cup or this, that, and the other. I think Honduras will be strong because they've qualified for a World Cup before. I think maybe a couple of World Cups at least they've done before. They'll be strong. Panama, don't know much about them as a footballing nation, but if they did pretty well in the last qualification, they'll try and build on that. Costa Rica, I think, will struggle just because the team's changing, but they might still be there or thereabouts because they don't have the likes of the US and Mexico and now Canada to add to the mix. Jamaica as well have to because there's just too much. There's too much going on within the FA. I mean, like bringing, dual national players back, and it seems like there's supposed to be some sort of direction with it, but let's see. I mean, you would hope that they can. Could we see Trinidad coming back after 20 years? Like, it's gonna be interesting.
That's it. And just looking at the teams who didn't even make the final round of qualifications, I mean, you had solid group performances from the likes of Suriname. They were in Canada's initial group in the first round. You could look at Guatemala. So many different teams. Even you look at Trinidad, St. Kitts and Nevis, who performed okay in their groups, finished first and second in Group F. There are so many options, but like you said, we just gotta wait and see how these teams are shaping. Maybe in a couple years' time, that's when we can truly understand. I say you will England be having 4 years. So. This guy. I mean, to be honest with us, we've got a few players who I don't feel will reach. If we are to get there, won't reach the World Cup. I mean, got a few experienced players right now who have kind of been thrown into the team in an attempt to try and qualify for this one, but it just didn't work out. Like I said, a lack of cohesion. So many different things going around in the board with the managers, the coaching staff, all of these things there.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, to be honest with you. Once the qualification process goes on the way, And after a few games, we'll start to see who's looking like serious contenders and who's not, basically. There's a Davy Klassen header going wide from the corner.
One thing I will say is if Jamaica want to become a force in a CONCACAF, then they have to find a way to improve on pushing their homegrown talent, whether it's not just means playing within the country and improving the infrastructure within there. Of course, they have to do that. But there have been a lot of situations where, for example, talented Jamaican players have been denied going out of the country to seek better education in terms of becoming a better footballer. Leon Bailey spoke about it recently, where when he was younger, they would deny him getting a visa, for example, to move out of the country and go to places like Europe, seek a better education when it comes to football. And that's the biggest problem. You want to keep your talents in-house, but you don't have the infrastructure. You don't have the quality within the leagues to be of a level where you can qualify for World Cups, when you can become a force in a CONCACAF alone, which is a big problem.
And I think with that, it's a very interesting thing because what we do in Ghana is like, you know, certain local teams will kind of work with academies in Europe, for example, so that we can kind of have a pathway to develop some of our best local talents in Europe. And I don't know if there's anything kind of similar in Jamaica where your best talents will have an opportunity to go to play in a team in Europe, kind of like a feeder kind of system. And what that does is it just will develop and nurture your top talents so that they can get a better football in development. And at the same time, it's like they still have pride of being from their country, so they will always, whenever it comes to internationals, they'll always make sure that they choose their country that they were born in. So it's interesting, like what the agendas of some of these FAs are, and you know, like what they're looking at in 2, 3, 4, 5 years time. Like how does the makeup look like for their squad and their national team and all of that stuff. So it's pretty interesting, I can't lie.
Definitely.
So as you said, Mexico needs that desperately. If we go out of the group, I hope it's a wake-up call to the Mexican Federation. But Santi, you mentioned to me before, yeah, that how there's a lot of Mexican-based players in the Mexican side, right? Is that a good thing, or do you need a balance of both? Players that play outside of Mexico and those that, because in previous squads there's been a balance, or maybe more players actually playing abroad than they were in Mexico. Do things need to change maybe? And Drizzy saying Ecuador's wasting time already in your game.
Yeah, they just had I don't know if Drizzy, well, I know Drizzy's ahead, but they had Preciado just down getting treatment. He just come back on the pitch now. The game's restarted, but he was down for a good couple of minutes.
Yeah, here the Netherlands are keeping hold of the ball, but sometimes the ball's breaking down. Like just literally just now, the ball just broke down in the final third. Qatar, I don't know, man. Like I feel like they sometimes scared to play, or they've been scared to play during this tournament. This is why they've not had much success. I feel like in the game against Senegal, they could have done a lot better and got a result at that game if they just forced to play a little bit more. They're not a good side, but to be fair, they won the Asia Cup in 2019. They've had a few big results. They even beat Ghana, I think, in 2019, like in a friendly as well. Like, yeah, I actually found that out yesterday because I don't even remember that result because you don't even watch internationals or international friendly. But even beat Ghana, I'm like, what? So I mean, yeah, I feel like they should have done a lot better than they have in this tournament. Like, if you're at home in front of your home fans, you have to fight. At least fight. I'm not even saying you're going to be better than any of these sides because you probably aren't, but fight at least. And so they've got a corner now. Can they get an opening goal for their fans in the stadium? I have to wait and see.
Senegal just on the attack now. Ecuador have done well to get numbers. And then they're just fighting to win it back. Senegal just almost giving away the ball there in a rough tackle.
Qatar putting the Netherlands under pressure. The second corner now. Van Dijk had to just clear the first cross out for another corner. So it's going to be another Qatari corner.
Well played by Saar. Entering the box now, taking a shot. And it's a corner kick. He was going to curl it into the top right corner. Took a deflection, goes out. Jacobs to take it now. Ball in the box, punched out by the goalkeeper. Same shot back in was blocked. Crossed it again. Headed on, and that's just an easy claim for Galindez.
Santi said the long the answer is long to that question, but the Mexican league needs to do better of bringing youth players through and stop overvaluing the few that do. Mexican teams often outprice their players, often price their players out of a move to Europe anytime they come knocking. That's interesting. That's very interesting, because you'd think that, you know, they, in order to aid the development of that player, they need to move out of that league. Because I remember there was a time when it was like that in the Brazilian league. So a lot of their top players would stay in Brazil. They wouldn't venture out into Europe. But then after a while, it became, you know, apparent that if they got time in Europe, they would develop as players. Now, I'm not going to say every single move is the best, because you see certain players pull up in the Russian league, and Cody Gakpo, and he scores, and the Netherlands lead by 1-0. Cody Gakpo with the finish from just outside the box, and the Qatar fans have their heads in their hands, because it looks like they could be going home or stay at home with only 1 goal and 0 points in the group stage. But Cody Gakpo,
That's 3-3 now for him.
it's a little 1-2 with Davy Klassen, and just as he enters into the box, he takes a shot early past the Qatari goalkeeper, Barsham, and the Netherlands are leading by 1-0. And as it stands, they are top and they're going through. And to think, Cody Gakpo is of Ghanaian descent. He could have been part of our side, but
Listen, man, nah, man. Listen, man, we at Pros Only Sports and recommend the up and coming players to go and play for their motherland, fam. Uplift the motherland. You know what I mean?
100%. I think it's interesting. Jose Mourinho actually I'd called on FIFA to ban players playing for other sides apart from their origin, especially African, specifically African players, because you'll see the likes of people like Kylian Mbappe playing for Cameroon instead of for France, or you know, Pogba playing for Guinea instead of for France, or you know, as I said, like people like Depay, Gakpo, even though they were born in the Netherlands, in terms of origin, you know, they're Ghanaian. So, you know, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. and then saying, will Otto Addo be in charge of the next World Cup? I don't know. It's like it's interesting because he's a young coach. This is probably the highest level he'll ever coach at, I think. This team is young. It doesn't really matter what happens out of this World Cup. I think that like a lot of journalists in the country have not really. Ooh, there was a shot there for the Qatarians into the hands of Noppert.
Saul with the cross in the box, but just can't get a good connection once it reaches there. It was an awkward ball.
But yeah, like I'm not so sure if he will be in charge. It just really depends on this performance. I think this World Cup, I mean, if let's see what happens on Friday, we get out of the group, then I think that buys him time, a lot of time, to be honest. He'll get a chance to obviously take the team to the AFCON. I think he'll get a chance for the AFCON. So in 2024, he'll be there. And then it's really dependent on that performance. If he performs well at that AFCON, then we'll know, I think, for sure what happens. I feel like they do need to give time to this process that they're trying to do here because it's a lot of young players. He's done very well to convince players to join the country as well. Like you're looking at the likes of Tariq Lamptey and Inaki Williams, specifically Semenyo as well, has joined us too. Like, so he's done really well alongside the FA and the team to be able to do to bring those players forward. There's been a few German young players as well coming in as well. So like it's good. It's good. Let's see how far he can go. AFCON for sure, he's definitely gonna be there. Like 2024 in the Ivory Coast. He should be there. I want us to do content from Ivory Coast though. I can't lie for the AFCON. I can't lie to you. In a couple years' time, it would actually be pretty good. Just go out there for 4 weeks, yeah. And literally just enjoy the tournament. Like that would be good. Cannot lie to you. But yeah, I think he should be there for the next World Cup, but it really depends on his AFCON performance in 2 years' time. Ed saying that's why Ronaldinho went to PSG before they were PSG. They are now. It was the route into Europe. Okay. Yeah, because this is what I'm saying, because it's like I feel like back in the day, a lot of players in Brazil used to stay there. So a lot of their top players didn't really move. This is why Pele didn't play for any top like European clubs during his career. He ended up going to America like towards the end. He stayed in Brazil for his whole career. And then I think after a while, it became apparent that these Brazilian clubs could make a lot of money off of their young talents. And so they started to sell them. And so this is why we see the likes of R9 going to Holland early on in his career before moving to Spain. And like, as you mentioned, Ed, Ronaldinho going to PSG when he left Brazil, left Gremio and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting. And obviously all the way up until now, you look at like the likes of Neymar, Robinho, players like that just ended up making moves to Europe, you know, because the Brazilian teams, I think, maybe lacked finances and needed to reinvest into their academies and continue to produce more top talents to give out to the world and stuff. So it's pretty interesting. Gizzy's saying Chris Hughton is our coach going forward. Yeah, he don't like Otto at all. You gotta give him time. I feel like you gotta give him time. I can't lie to you. What would be a fireable offense for him? A poor performance at AFCON, the next AFCON. If we exit the group stage, that's a fireable offense. Like you've messed up because you would have had 2 years with the team at the time. You'd qualified for the tournament. The expectation for Ghana in every AFCON is to go and win it because we haven't won it in near enough 40, nearly 50 years. So that'll be the expectation. If he doesn't even get to a semi-final, I think if you get to semi-final, you probably get a bit more time. If you crash out like how we crashed out earlier on this year, you're definitely done. You're definitely done. Man like Gakpo scores again. Coming to a theatre of dreams near you in January. Let's see. Because I don't know, not just yet. I don't know because we have some issues with our ownership. That situation may cloud things heading into January, even though there's no excuse. You've let go of another forward, you know. So interesting. Yep. Bebeto went to Deportivo Tafatel to Galatasaray as well. Yeah, Ronaldo went to PSV. Yeah. I said Otto Addo didn't do shit. Chris Hughton convinced Tariq. Look, he's involved in the process, whether you like it or not. Like, I know you don't like him, but when you say what is well, like, yeah, like, so my thing is, in this World Cup, I don't think there's much of an expectation. He hasn't really worked with these groups of players for that long, maybe 8 months, maybe less than that. Let's say it's probably less than. It's probably like 4 or 5, right? So there's no real expectation to do anything. If we come out that group, that's great performance. The next AFCON, he's gonna be tasked to win it for sure, because there's just the expectation in the country. You know what I'm saying? So that's as far as it goes for me. Otto is an interim coach. He's a full-time coach. I know he's not interim. He's full-time, but part-time, if you know what I mean, because he still has a role at Dortmund, which I know. He's got a contract over there. So he's a scout at Dortmund. Yes, I understand. It's a dual role. It's like what Ralph Rangnick was doing like towards the end of Man United. He took the Austria role, but he was still the manager, interim manager for Man United, though. You know what I'm saying? You can still, part-time roles can happen in international football. It happens. It does happen. So it's pretty interesting still.
Ecuador right now again, even though just commentators can say gave away the ball for a split second, but they're getting some really good possession in the game right now. They're passing the ball, they're getting the space as well, and they're just finding each other with accuracy. Senegal slightly sat back. They are triggering the press every now and then in certain areas of the pitch, but they're giving Ecuador the time to pass the ball and have a bit of possession and gain confidence in the game.
Yeah, and then you love this, man. You woke up to hate again today, bro.
And every day is a new opportunity to hate, man.
From Qatar, I've seen them,
Senegal were almost in. Good ball over the top, and Ecuador were just able to secure that one.
Qatar move the ball around well, but they don't do much with it. That's the one thing I've noticed from watching them this tournament.
Do you think for them it's more disappointment or pride? Because obviously they were able to score their first ever tournament. Obviously it wasn't really a proper qualifying process because it is being held in their country. But is it more pride overall or disappointing on the performance on the pitch? Performances.
I don't know. Like, it's hard to say because it's like I don't want to give them sympathy because I'm like, they gave you the tournament 12 years ago. So you had an opportunity at that point. Your FA will come and say, all right, we got this tournament we're hosting in 12 years. We have to have a roadmap to get to that point. What does that look like? Right. And for the last 5 years, they've had this coach in place. So he's been able to set everything up for the team in a particular way. So he set them up in terms of a playing style. You can see it, it's clear. However, maybe I feel like there was an issue where the new managers come in at that point in time when they wanted to change direction. They wanted to build up players through that Aspire Academy instead of like paying players of other nations to come and join the Qatari national team, essentially, right? And it may have caused a bit of mess. Do you know what I'm saying? Like within their preparation for this tournament. And so maybe we're kind of seeing the tail end of it, right? Where like, let's say the next tournament, when they try to go qualifying for the next one, they might actually qualify through their own right because everything is more settled. I think out of this one, will they be proud of what they've done? I think maybe for them hosting the tournament, yes. But from a footballing perspective, no. You're expecting a little bit more. You want to win. At least you want to have a win in front of your home fans in your home tournament. But they're not going to get one, it looks like, from here. It'll be a very surprising one if they do. But, getting a goal, is that enough to celebrate? Because you didn't even win the game. You didn't get a draw. So it's like, I think they'll be very disappointed with the outcome, to be honest with you. But what's your thoughts on it, though?
I agree. You know, they're no doubt it's probably a lot of pressure on their side to impress, to show what they've been working on, like you said, with the academy, and it hasn't come together. They're definitely, which is probably more of a positive for them, is the next time around in 2026 there'll probably be less pressure,
Mm,
just because it's not in their home country. I mean,
mm,
we cannot overlook the fact that it's you're hosting the tournament, and it's literally the first ever time that this team is going to play in a World Cup. And sometimes, even when you've done well, we recite back to them winning the Asia Cup and stuff like that. It can come to a shock as you when you experience the levels of this tournament,
mm,
because sometimes you'll face your team in a friendly, and you won't get the full onslaught of what that team's capable of. And
mm,
in the World Cup, you're playing for more than pride. You're playing to get out of the group stages first, and because you only have 3 games, you have to start like this. And if you're not prepared for that, if you don't understand what that's like, sometimes you might get caught off guard. And I think that is a big part of them. It's also clear that the quality on their side isn't where it needs to be competitive in a World Cup. So that's definitely something that they will have to improve on in the next 4 years of qualification. But definitely, I agree with what you say in terms of having and hosting the tournament. There is a lot of pride to be there in the end of the day,
mm.
but the performances on the pitch should have been much better to represent the country almost, because that's a big part of it. We saw with Russia and what they were able to do in the
Yeah,
2018 World Cup.
yeah,
They
yeah,
represented their country brilliantly
true.
in that competition. And looking at Qatar, they'll set a lot of records that were not good
Yeah, they're not good.
for
Yeah,
our host nation.
yeah, yeah. I mean, just sorry, I was just Gakpo had a shot just over the bar, but he's just offside. He didn't come back on side. Yeah, he strays off, just strays off. Um, isn't that better that he can be a link for young Ghanaians to go to one of the best youth academies in Europe? Yeah, this is the thing. It's like it's interesting as well with him being a scout for Dortmund. He can already look at maybe some local talents in Ghana and try and help them make the move over to Europe and through the Dortmund academy, which also helps the national team. This is why I like what we've done in terms of our technical team. So hopefully it bodes well for the future in that. Um, um, Ed saying it's a very interesting dichotomy. Love to talk about you. Love to talk to you boys about the draw from your heritage and the English. If you were born here, if you're born there, or however we word it, as the whitest man ever, I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings on it. And he says, with my son being mixed with my wife born in Jamaica, he's very proud of both his heritage. But as he gets older, I want to make sure it stays that way. That's an interesting question, Ed. CM, I'll let you kick off and then I'll answer.
Yeah. You know what? Obviously, I was born here, but I've been. Oh, hold on a second. Someone's gone down. It's a penalty for Senegal. Hold on a minute. Hold on a second, Ed. We'll get to you, bro. Oh. The pace of his Madasa. He was able to go beyond, and he got brought down in the box. The referee had no doubt in his mind. The Ecuadorian players are all surrounding the referee. But he got absolutely taken out. Zinsapi. And Sarr got the touch on the ball and got absolutely taken out. So here's an opportunity to take the lead for Senegal. And it would be a big goal 42 minutes into the game. Definitely a penalty.
Yeah, they're saying penalty. Yeah,
Right,
seems very clear.
let me see. Hold on. Looks like the man in die. He's taking his penalty. Oh no, he's giving it over. He was holding it for the whole time and he gave it away. It's gonna be Sarr.
Is Sarr a good penalty taker though? This is the thing. I've not known him to take penalties.
This is a big penalty, a pressure penalty for Senegal. Staring at the goalkeeper. No antics. Just a straight stare down the referees, making sure that the goalkeeper's on the line, giving them the rules as he always does. As the seconds go by, the pressure increases. The whistle is blown. Sarr steps up. Small steps. Finishes! Bottom right corner. It was easy. The goalkeeper didn't even move. And Ismaila Sarr gives Senegal a 1-0 lead.
That is a big goal for Senegal because as it stands, they'll be heading through with the Netherlands as the two. But then who comes out actually on top? This is what I want to know because I don't think there's too much in terms of goal difference going on. Let me have a look at these groups right now.
Okay, so
the table. Ooh.
I believe as it stands right now, Senegal will be on 6 points. The Netherlands are on 7 now if the result stays the same. Ecuador in 3rd. Qatar in 4th. So Ecuador on 4 points. Qatar, of course, on 0.
But yeah, they said Sarr goal. Now Ecuador have to come out and play. No idea then to waste time. Netherlands aren't on 9. They'll be on 7 points. And then because they drew the last game against Ecuador, Senegal, they'll be on 6 points because they lost their opening game and then they've beaten Qatar. So so Netherlands will go through group winners as it stands with Senegal with 6 points taking that second spot as it stands. Hopefully more twists and turns to go in this afternoon. I don't know if I feel like in CM's game, yes. Over here, I'm not so sure.
Oh yeah. Back to Ed's question. That's a very good question to be honest, because I was born here, but I've been privileged enough to go to Jamaica a large amount of times since I was literally a baby. So I've got to understand, I've got to learn a lot of things about the country. I've been to many different places, whether it be where I am from in Flagaman, St. Elizabeth, Montego Bay, so many different places, seeing different cultures and learning the culture within itself. So I kind of, as I've got older, I've embraced that side a lot more now that I understand more about the country. And I feel at home when I go there rather than being an outsider or being a tourist.
Yeah.
So definitely for me, Jamaica is like a number 1 place. It's not that I'm not proud of my history here in England, because obviously I've gone through the school system. I've grown up the majority of the time and I've lived basically all my life here in England. But you do understand certain dynamics that work in your favor and don't work in your favor, being somebody of Jamaican descent, being a black man in a predominantly, English white country. Really. So you do understand the dynamics of what can work in your favor and what doesn't work in your favor in the end of the day. And for me, it's the thing is, I understand and love Jamaica as well. But you also want to see development out of that country. So for me, if I was, for example, to go and live there, you would want to be in a position where you can uplift not just the people, but everything within the country to do with, and it's not just a sports thing, it's everything around that. Because there's a lot of stuff going out there right now. Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, whether it's to do with the government kind of selling out certain things and not giving people an opportunity and uplifting people that are in unfortunate circumstances, just not improving the country as a whole. And right now they're favoring externals rather than looking at the people that are growing up in the country and want to make something out of themselves, which is the reason why a lot of Jamaicans tend to leave for the US or go to Europe, for example, for an education, and they don't end up coming back because by then they would have had their education and they've gained a level of knowledge that has almost outgrown the country. So that you find yourselves in an unfortunate position where the people that you do want to come back to your country, they don't want to come back because they know that there's not going to be an opportunity for them to help the country grow. Yeah, I may have gone off in a tangent there, but yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, for me, Ed, it's like I think growing up, obviously going to visit Ghana, to visit like extended members of my family, grandparents and things like that. That was important in terms of understanding where I came from, and understanding like the level of depth my family actually goes to. And I think obviously being born here, but like having parents that, you know, speak another language. So like you're hearing it, you can learn to speak and understand. And then obviously like in terms of just like cultural aspects, in terms of food and, you know, like family gatherings and things like that, just picking up certain things from cultures. Like even with us, you know, in our culture, we have to go to ceremonies to name children. We have to go to ceremonies to christen children. You have to go to ceremonies to bring a union together of one another and a husband and wife. Like you have to go to those kind of traditional ceremonies. So you see all of these aspects over here as well. And then I think as I've gotten older though, like just trying to understand my place in the world as a black man has kind of allowed me to go on a bit of a journey to try and find out a little bit more about my heritage. So the last time I was in Ghana, this was 2 years ago, pre-COVID, I was able to go back to where my granddad was born. And so like the house that he built, they're still standing over 60 years plus since it was first built. So like I was there, I was able to meet like some of my great uncles and aunties and stuff like that. So I even saw like an extended like side to my family that I never even knew kind of existed, type of thing, and actually seen where a lot of my kind of ancestry is traced from. So it's like that was a big eye opener to me, because you could walk down the street and you could see an advert of somebody from, like, let's say like it could have been a funeral or an event or something, and the person's surname is my surname. So that's a person that's actually in my family. I just never knew that person, but they're in that because of that small town that they was in. So like, yeah, like I feel like in terms of you, Ed, just as like advice, it would be important to just show both sides of your son's culture. Like, so, you know, keep him around both sides of the family, you know, and allow him to explore both sides of the heritage and stuff like that. Visiting Jamaica, I don't know if you already have gone, but if you haven't, you have to make sure you go, so that your son can actually experience that culture from a different side. Like, because I remember like some of my best summer holidays would be, you know, my mom would be saving up so much money to just so that we can just go out there, so we can go see grandma, and you be out there for 6 weeks, the whole summer holiday, but you're in a different country, you're just enjoying because the sun's out, you know, you're away from school and all of these types of things like that. So, you know, it's pretty interesting. But yeah, that would be my advice to you, innit? Like, you know, for you, your wife, to kind of make sure that your son has both sides of the heritage, so that he learns and grows and understands who he is as a person, and within both of that. So yeah, it's always interesting conversations to have about heritage, family, culture, and stuff like that. So I appreciate that, Ed. Still, I can't lie to you. And he said that your family is actually from where his wife was born. So that's what I'm saying. You see how like we're all connecting through this. Like we don't actually know each other like that, but you know, just small things like that, you know, kind of connect people and stuff, which is good. Jizzy said he hasn't been to his dad's village just yet. Yeah, so my family are from the central region, Drizzy. So let's say part of my family were from Apam, and so that's my grandma on my dad's side, and then my granddad on my dad's side is from Anamabo, that's the place I actually went to, and that's in the central region. So like 2 years ago, and then obviously most family were born in Accra, so it's one of those. But it's interesting because obviously in Accra there's one tribe there called the Ga tribe, and so a lot of my family speak Ga, which is interesting. But we're not Ga. We're not like Ga descendants. We're Fanti descendants. So I speak Fanti. I don't speak Ga. I can't understand it. I can understand it a little bit, but not too much. I can't speak it. So basically, my dad said that the reason why he learned is so that him and his siblings could speak Ga without my granddad understanding. So that's why they learned it. So it's very interesting, like the reason why they did it. Like, so, it's kind of crazy still. Santi said that my parents would send me out to my grandma or my auntie's house to stay every 3 weeks, every summer as well. This is what I'm saying. It's like when you're like you're born somewhere else or you've moved as a young person somewhere else, it's always important to go back to where your parents are from or where your parents were born, because you at least get to be in touch with your family. At least that it's important. It's very important, so you know where you come from. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's the same. It's the same across all different types of cultures. You know what I mean? So wherever we're from. So it's very interesting. Visiting grandma in Ghana is the best. You're treated as the favorite by her. Yeah, no, I can't lie, bro. Like growing up, it was like it's all humble beginnings and that, but like you be there chilling. Grandma's cooking you up food. Like you don't want your grandma to to be cooking for you, bro, but she'll insist to make sure you get a plate, like make sure you're fed and stuff. So it's always good. It's always a good feeling. But your family's from the eastern region, Kofrodia. Akim Oda is your dad's village. Okay. And yeah, you're going to Jamaica next year. Money saved up. Can't wait. History books to be brought. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That's what you need. That's basically where you get the real culture from. A better understanding. So yeah, that should be good, Ed. Hope you look forward to that one still. And you speak tree. Fancy is similar to tree, yeah, but some words are pronounced differently. Yeah, because like you see, because with my family, the way they speak fancy is kind of like, I'm not gonna say it's broken, but it's not the like real like fancy. So like my grandma could speak the real fancy, like pronouncing words properly and stuff like that. And that was my kind of like mission, is to kind of refine the language a bit more, like, and actually learn it like the way they actually speak it. So when I go to a certain region now, I can't even lie to you. When I get to a certain region, I want to be able to speak it properly with the people, because I can't be doing no half measures. So like I make sure that at least twice a week I'm even continually to brush up on my lessons. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, you don't want to lose it still. You don't want to lose it at all. Even with tree, I can speak a bit, not too much. My fancy's a lot better than my tree. I can't lie to you, but and then I'd say my understanding of patois is getting better every year. I mean, I don't ever try it. I ain't that guy, but I understand it. So Jacob is learning too. Yeah, that's good still. That's good. That's good. And that's good. I can't lie. Yeah, just make sure you understand it still. That's the key in it. Like, just at least try and understand it still. But yeah.
Man, the bad thing about that is when you go there, there's even, like you say, everybody's speaking the same language. And obviously there's slang that gets thrown in there. Only you understand once you get used to it. But people speak with a different pace in terms of, the speed basically of how they talk. Different areas they'll be speaking like this, and you hardly understand them and things there. And then there are people who speak slower, like, especially in the town. They exaggerate their words a lot more. They sound a lot more formal. You know what I mean? So yeah, and it's always nice going there. Especially when I grow older and stuff like that. I want to travel a lot more, especially in the next few years. When I start building up and all of that stuff there. Traveling is something I want to do a lot more. Fam. It was interesting because you were speaking about it the other day when you were saying you was traveling camping in as well. But yeah, man. Mom tells me that all the time, and you need to travel.
It's important. I can't lie to you. I made a decision when I hit 25. I was like, yo, I'm just gonna like for my birthday. I was like, all right, cool. Let me just save up this kind of money, and I'm just gonna pick one destination in the world and just go there. Like literally on a solo thing. I don't care who's come. I don't need anybody to come with me. I need to go do this journey. And when I went to Colombia for the first time, I went to Cartagena. Like that's like on the Caribbean coast. So like that was basically the first time I ever seen black people outside of England, or Europe, yeah, and like Africa. So that was interesting because it's like you be there, you touch down, and you're like, it feels like home in it. I can't lie to you, it just feels like home. It's like, bro, how can I like walk down the street and I'm seeing just bare people that look like me, yeah, but it's in a completely different place in the world, and like you just feel comfortable, like. So yeah, nah, that was interesting because like Cartagena was interesting because obviously the black people there, they speak Spanish in it, so it's a bit different, but yeah, it was good. It was good still. It was good. Appreciate you guys answering that. Things like the World Cup always bringing up these questions for me. Growing up in an area, it was mixed. It was always mixed, but yeah, you don't know what it's really like until it's family. Yeah, that's the thing. Once it's family now, then the kind of the situation changes. Then it actually leads you to actually having to learn a lot more because you can learn from a distance when you live around a very like multicultural society, for example, and you'd have to it's on you to go and like immerse yourself within that and embrace that. But when it's in your family now, you have no choice. You can't run away from it. So you have no choice but to learn and understand and continue to grow and all of that. But it's one of those still. It's one of those. Yo, big up man like Isaac in here. Big up to yourself, bro. Hey. I'm hope you're enjoying the World Cup right now. What time is it over in the States, bro? It's like maybe I swear you're in New York, so maybe about 5 hours behind us, I think. So hope you're having a good morning still. Can't lie to you. When Mama G gets angry or vexed, the patois comes out more and faster. Same with my wife. It only comes out when the kid acts up. Then the Jamaican mom comes out, teeth get kissed, and the patois comes out. I think it's just a mum thing, bro. When she's angry at you, bro, then everything starts flowing, bro. Big up Nate in here. When I first moved to Ireland, I had no idea that there was an actual Irish language, but now I'm able to speak it strongly and feel it's connected me to one half of my heritage. Insulting Americans in trees in tree language, it makes me feel so good. I mean, nah, you know what is, yeah, like Drizzy, I ain't gonna lie, I respect it still, because if you're with like somebody that understands your language, but you don't want to, you're talking about something and you don't want to let people know, it's always good to be able to switch so that they don't understand. It's always a good thing. I can't lie to you. It is always a good. Yeah. Isaac said it's 11 a.m. right now. I'm on my way to school. Yeah, I had a feeling. Hey, big up, man. Hope you have a good day, man. Hope you have a good day at school still. As for patois, I always forget nobody here speaks. Oh man, it's true. Still, I feel like you maybe felt a little bit more at home when you was in London. Still, Nate, can't lie to you because you definitely found some people that you can speak patois with over here. Still, yeah. Big up to yourself, Nate, each and every time. Appreciate you coming through, my bro. Boy, second half due to start soon. What are you expecting in your game, CM?
Drizzy said it earlier on in the comments. He wants, well, I don't know if he wants it, but he's expecting Ecuador to come out a little more attacking in the first half. Even though they had good bits of possession, they had moments where they did get forward. Enner Valencia, I'll probably say the most threatening moment. Enner Valencia was in the box and he didn't get his touch right. So they have to now go for this game in the second half. The World Cup's at stake. That what we spoke about. It's win or go home. Winner takes all. So we are expecting them to be a lot more attacking in the second half. Senegal, they will have the threat once again. They've looked really good in attacking areas in this game. There have been moments where they haven't finished, but that penalty really gave them the advantage in this game. So I'm expecting them to be probably even more better in the second half when it comes to attacking, especially if Ecuador are able to be a bit more expansive on the ball. those attacking areas then open up, especially for the wingers come inside, even in central areas, to be honest. So I'm hoping that the second half is going to be really good. What about you, bro? Netherlands, Qatar, we feeling?
I feel like Qatar moved the ball around pretty well, but they just don't have enough in attack to really trouble the Netherlands. I'm expecting the Netherlands to score a few extra goals, to just try and get a bit more of a boost within their camp, to show that they can actually do something in this tournament. Their performances haven't been convincing so far. They struggled in large parts against Senegal, but then got those 2 late goals. Obviously, the draw against Ecuador wasn't convincing, so they would hope to have a convincing victory here against Qatar to kind of, dump them, or they already dumped out the tournament, but to really send them home emphatically, and then have a bit of confidence going into the knockout stages. And so that moves on to a question that Drizzy said earlier, and I just went back to it. He said, if you're England, who do you want to face in the second round, Senegal or Ecuador?
I feel like when it comes to, I'd say I'd rather face Ecuador right now. But like Senegal, they've showcased in this tournament. They have the athletes, they have the physicality in their game that it can be hard to go up against a team like that, especially when they have to pace up top. You look at threatening faces and Dai, Saar, they've been threatening on the wing. He has been involved so far in this game so far. Even throughout their midfield, they've just got a lot of physicality in there that give England a lot of trouble. And when you think about it, what was showcased in the USA game is they were a lot more sharp than England, and they had a lot more energy. And England can have trouble with that at times, especially if they ain't playing to a certain level like they did in the first game against Iran, where they were ruthless in front of goal. They created opportunities and they played with a lot more cutting edge. But their pragmatic style of play at times can shoot themselves in the foot if they do go up against a team like this, especially if England aren't creating a lot of chances in a one-off match that can pose a massive threat against that team. And we'll always go back to this. Big up T in it. He'll will always give credit to England, but there's a reason why people are hesitant to give England credit. Yes, they reached the semi-finals in 2018. Yes, they reached the finals of the last iteration of the Euros, but there's always a weakness in the side when it comes to their style of playing, not being expansive enough when they need to be. That's what shot them in the foot in the Euros final, not being proactive enough to try and win that game in normal time. And anytime it gets the penalties, it's always a 50-50 scenario. So when it comes to this competition, there needs to be a change in their style of play when it comes to those crucial moments. You need to be more proactive in changing it up. You need to use the personnel that are going to be able to cut teams in half and create opportunities for your strikers, whether it's Harry Kane, Sterling's, Marcus Rashford, Kyle Saka, to score those goals. So yeah, long story short, because I once again I'm not waffling, but it is what it is. I'd rather face Ecuador right now.
Fair enough. I mean, you know what? It's interesting you say that. I think England were good in the World Cup up until the final. So when they got into the knockout stages, they really obliterated their opponents heading into that final. So maybe that experience last year will help them as they move into the knockout stages of this competition. And it's really about getting over that hurdle when they get to the real big high stake games. Obviously, the opponents are going to be different, albeit, but it's going to be interesting. I think for me, Drizzy, I feel if he was England, Depay and De Jong, he follows up, and it is 2-0 for the Netherlands. I'll come back to that question, Drizzy, in a second, but I need to update the score. The Netherlands are now leading by 2-0 against Qatar. Frankie De Jong with the second after a Depay shot that was hit against the keeper Barsham. He didn't really push it anywhere, right into the path of Frankie De Jong. Let's have a look at this on the replay again. We get a crossing from David Klaassen. Depay is onside. Volleys, hits Barsham. into the path of Frankie de Jong, and it is 2-0. But I will say this, Drizzy, I feel like England would prefer to play against Ecuador. But I think Senegal will go through, and so they'll be facing Senegal. And I think it's going to be difficult. It'll be more difficult of a fixture for England if they play Senegal than they would it would be for if they were to play Ecuador. So I feel like England would prefer to face Ecuador, but I think they'll face Senegal. But thank you for that Drizzy, man. That was a good question. This is Maguire versus Saad. It's gonna be, as I'm saying, it's gonna be interesting. This is what I'm saying. It's like, and I believe that game is either gonna be on Saturday. I think it'll be on Saturday, to be honest with you, as well. Where for the beginning fixtures of the round of 16. So it's gonna be interesting to watch that. We see an end to the Qatari employees dressing up now that they've been knocked out. I think no, they're still gonna go to the games. I feel like they'll still go to the games. Like, you're at, it's your state, it's your home tournament. You gotta go, even if your team is out. You still have to go.
Have to represent.
Yeah, Netherlands are comfortable now. I feel like it's about getting more goals now, just to get a bit more confidence in the team. A convincing performance will stand them in good stead going into that round of 16 game, whoever they may face. Because it could be interesting. They could be facing the USA. They could be facing Iran. You know, England are currently top of the group, but you just never know what happens tonight. It's a big game against Wales. Wales, they're more or less out of the competition. It's basically a minor miracle for them to even qualify now at this stage. But they still would want to get that win over England to potentially mess things up for them going into that last 16 tie. So it's interesting. It is very interesting at this moment in time, and obviously the USA have an outside chance, but they have to beat Iran tonight to have any chance of qualifying. Felix Sanchez has had the same pose on the Qatari touchline from the beginning game. Literally, he spends the 90 minutes with his hand on chin, like trying to figure out what's going on here. And it's like, you've had 5 years with this group of players, so you know what their capabilities are. You know what I mean?
Man. Nah, that was jokes though, cause I remember the first game, fam. I was very surprised. What's going on here, fam? You better better than this. Nah, big man. They ain't it. They ain't it, man.
This is what I'm saying. I was surprised at the supporters. I was like, what were you expecting here? Like, you're not. This is the highest level you've ever been at, and you didn't even qualify for this. They gave this to you. You didn't earn this. There's Holland versus USA. Holland doesn't want that. They want Iran. The USA players will kill them. Interesting. It's gonna be interesting, Jesse. I'm looking forward to seeing tonight's games and how they end up, because all sorts of things are going to be going down. That Iran USA game is going to be very interesting, because Iran are not really known for a very expansive style. They're very pragmatic under Carlos Queiroz anyway. The USA are going to be able to force the play, and with the fact that both teams need to win to qualify, it's going to be an absolute fire game. A thief in behind the Netherlands defense. There's no one in the box though, so has to go back, and the attack breaks down. This is what I'm saying. Qatar, like, How can you be motoring forward now on the break, and you're not breaking your neck? Everybody trying to get forward at least to get a goal. This is what I'm saying. They've just not been brave enough. This is why they're where they are. They've not been brave enough, honestly. And I get it. Like, I understand it's a bit intimidating. You're playing against some of the world's best, but yeah, I don't know. That's a good ball. Still, nobody in the box. Like, what a waste. What a waste. Like, your player can't be in the position on the left wing, and there's nobody in the box. You made a good move. He's onside, good pass. He's on the edge of the box. He's gonna stand it up now from the byline, and nobody breaking their necks to go in the box. I think the ball even went out. Even that's a waste of time. I even wasted commentary for that, bro. The ball went out, fam.
Listen.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't even break your neck to even try and get the ball to cross. You had to let it go out and play, fam. It's so mad.
I was about to say them man got their mindset on home, fam, but they're already home.
I'm saying this ain't like Saudi Arabia. Did you hear that the story of the Saudi Arabian team after their win against Argentina? The Prince gave everybody a Rolls Royce or something. Yeah. I don't know. What's your prize here?
Listen.
He'd be in the dungeon for 5 months, bro.
Yeah, fam. Think about what you've done.
Yeah,
Senegal.
Santi, Frankie de Rong. Yeah, he scored. He definitely scored. We've seen the rumors once again reiterating that he's going to be staying at Barcelona. I mean, it's good for him. That's all I'll say.
Hey, listen, enjoy your time in it, man, because this man clearly thinks the grass is green on the other side, man. It's not looking good. There's going to be Greece in the Europa League.
That's definitely handball. Referee missed that one.
No, but in terms of the young lad, you need to move on now, fam. Them things there. Let him stay at Barcelona. Just hope them man are looking at different options now.
Yeah. I think that should be so. Unless it's one of those where we reassess again in the summer. I mean, it's happened before with certain players. You saw what happened with Virgil van Dijk before he went to Liverpool. Klopp wanted his man, couldn't get him, had to double back in January. I know it's not going to happen for United in January for sure, but it might have to be a next summer thing, depending on where the team is at. But they may have moved on to another target as well, so you just never know.
He's saying Mendy and Koulibaly on fraud watch.
Definitely Mendy. I really thought he was about to break the allegations, I did.
I can't believe what happened to Mendy, fam. Nah.
I was like, hey, this could be one of the greatest African keepers all time because of, one, the accolades, because you're a Champions League winner. You've now won AFCON 2. Great performances in like the 2 years since you made that big move to Chelsea and all of that. And then it's just all falling apart.
It was so bad that man's getting benched by Kepa,
That's crazy as well.
Mendy needs to go on a little soul searching thing, fam. Go find himself again because something ain't right, bro. There's no way man's getting benched by Kepa.
You said he needs to go soul searching,
I'm telling you, bro, man, something happened.
Yo, that's crazy. Yeah, I can't lie to you. And then I think Onana's better than him, though. I think he is. I can't lie to you, he is, because Onana might be a bit erratic at times, but I feel like he's solid. Onana's pretty solid. Like Mendy's, to me, after that West Ham game, it showed me enough. It just showed me enough. It showed me enough of like, if you can make those, because I'm all for like a one mistake, but when you make a second in the same game, literally like not even 10 minutes apart from each other, yeah, it's long. Because you can't do that as a keeper. You just can't. You can't do it at all. Against Uruguay, I don't want Ghana to use the same tactics Ecuador was playing in the first half. Score a goal in the first half. I mean, Drizzy, it's gonna be interesting how we set up tactically on Friday. I'm looking forward to it, but bro, I can't lie to you. I know I'm unsure. The only thing I'll say, and I said it yesterday, was let's be careful in terms of keeping our heads cool, because Uruguay have to win, and they will do anything to win. They will dive, they will cheat, they will do anything to win. They will fight to win. Ghana's squad is young. Some inexperienced players at this level. They've got some experienced players on their side. So we need to make sure that we keep cool head. Experience is key. So as much as we don't like the Jordan and Andre, they have to play. I'm sorry, they just have to. They have to play because they at least have the experience from the last. Well, Andre has the experience from the last time we played them, and he's the captain. He'll be able to keep people calm in that high pressure situation, because it could be a situation where we lose that game because somebody makes a stupid mistake, gets sent off, gets too angry, is too fired up, and then we lose the game and we're out of the competition when we was in a really good position to begin with. Second in the group, we're going through as a runners up in the group. But yeah, let's see, because I think at this point that's as best we can hope. I don't think we'll top the group. Um, you know, Yeah, you see, look, and this is what I'm saying. So Seydu and Amate are the most hot-headed players we have. Amate is going to be, yeah, I don't want him to play because he's going to be in trouble. He's going to be fighting one of them. Suarez, Nunez, Cavani, one of them. He'll be fighting them, and I don't want that. But we'll see. We'll see. That's keep cool heads. That's the only thing. Everything else is fine. Just keep cool heads. Qatar are about to bring on another player of Ghanaian heritage as well, Mohamed Muntari. There's actually a picture of him and Salisu playing street ball way back when, early on. That came out yesterday, which is interesting to see. And he's actually a history maker for their country because he's the scorer of their first goal in a World Cup finals. So it's good to see.
Ecuador might become just a little more frustrated and desperate as the game goes on. You're seeing them giving away free kicks, getting a little frustrated with refereeing decisions. They've given away a free kick just now on the left side. That's going to be put into the box, a good position for Senegal. So let's see what comes from it.
Haidos is coming off. Almoez Ali and Asim Madibo is also coming off. Triple substitution for Qatar. The fact of the matter is, now it's time to give some players who haven't had any game time some game time in this World Cup. They need to just go on there. So Mohamed Muntari, Ali Assad, and Karim Boudiaf coming on for Qatar. They just need some players that haven't had any game time. You've got to give them some game time now, because their last chance now to at least say they played in a World Cup, because we don't know if they're even going to get back. The Dutch also preparing a couple of substitutions themselves.
Kaif Riasco getting ready to come on for Ecuador now in a couple of minutes.
So, double substitution for the Netherlands. Davy Klaassen coming off. And Memphis Depay is coming off as well. And Berghaus and Victor Janssen coming on for the Netherlands. Abubakar over Salah every day, by the way. Says, and then China in 2002, North Korea in 2010, Qatar in 2022. We're never seeing them again. Yeah, I remember China actually qualified for the 2002 World Cup. That was an interesting one. They didn't have a great performance. Had a couple of players in the Premier League at the time as well in their squad, which is interesting. And then, yeah, North Korea's 2010 in South Africa was crazy as well. Like, it's weird, very weird country. Like, in terms of like how they was able to qualify. And obviously, we don't really know much about North Korea because they don't show anything to the outside world. So it was interesting seeing them qualify for a tournament on the world stage. And yeah, Qatar, I don't know if they will end up qualifying for another World Cup. Who knows? But based on what I've seen, not so much. I'm not so
Not a
confident.
lot of promise.
Yeah, I'm not confident in them ever getting back to a World Cup. Oh, that's a good ball. Janssen, Berghaus, and it's 3-0. They might be checking for an offside, though. They might be checking for an offside. The Qatari players are complaining. Let's have a look at the replay, though. But Berghaus scores the third goal for the Netherlands. Gakpo. Oh, no, they're asking for a handball, the Qataris. By Gakpo. Ooh, this could be ruled. Yeah, this could be ruled out. Because there's a handball by Cody Gakpo. Yep, there's a VAR check. The referee is going over to the monitor to probably chalk this one off, because if it is for the handball in the build-up to the goal, I think it will be given. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a very unnatural position to try and control that. And I think this will be chalked off. And it will still stay 2-0. Cody Gakpo with handling the ball prior to making his turn and then pass towards Victor Janssen. Who squared it over to Berghaus, and then the goal. Referees returning to the field of play. After review, no goal, handball, free kick to Qatar. Yeah, it was pretty clear that I don't think he needed VAR because he missed it, but after seeing it, there's no deliberation. So we still 2-0.
Idrissa Gueye's just been booked, and that means that he's not able to play in the first knockout stage game if they do end up going through. So that is a big miss.
Huge.
That is a big miss.
Huge miss. Jizzy saying that England's getting lucky. This is what I'm saying. But we don't know if England are going to finish top. We don't know. We just don't know. Because if it all falls apart for England tonight, because Wales are going to want to spoil the party. That one for sure. Wales will want to spoil the party. They definitely want to do that.
Corner kick now for Ecuador. I'm seeing something in the chat that suggests that there's something that's turned the game upside down. All in the box. And it is 1-1. And the equalizers come. And guess what? That is a disappointing. Saicedo at the back post. Wasn't marked at all. It was headed on. And Saicedo was there ready for the tap-in. Ecuador 1, Senegal 1. And we've got ourselves a game now.
So, as it stands, that is now interesting, isn't it?
Could it be offside? NN saying offside in the chat.
Ooh.
Let's see. Because I'm sure this will be reviewed. Let's review this now. Who goes into the box? I think he's on. Yeah, he's there for one. There for one. Because there's somebody on the line. Yes, I'd say it would have been offside if the Senegal man wasn't hanging at the front post. Yeah. So that is definitely an equalizer. Ecuador needed a goal. Let's see how Senegal respond.
Man, like Casado coming to a theatre of G's near you. Yeah, when we pay 50 million, when we could have got him for 5. So
yeah, imagine.
Do you know what I mean? So I mean,
all of a sudden, fam, the prices have gone up.
It's wild.
They're saying, listen, our brother scored a World Cup goal now, fam. You're gonna have to slang out them peas.
Yeah, I'm literally just seeing the goal now. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like we've spoken about this though. We've spoken about how big clubs need to take risks with younger players. You know, it's 5 million. Like it's literally a write-off if it doesn't work out. And now the player has come. He's been under the radar. He's learnt a little bit under the likes of Bissouma and whatnot in that Brighton midfield. Bissouma's been left. He's left, gone to Spurs. Now you take up the starting role in that team. You're a little more settled.
Ooh, 2-1 Senegal.
Ooh.
And it's the captain, Kalidou Koulibaly, with a brilliant finish as he goes to celebrate with his team. Another set-piece goal. And what seemed like a setback just a few minutes ago, they've been able to retake the lead now, and it's the captain who steps up.
So now it's 2-1. Let me update this banner.
There's a good ball in by Idrissa Gueye. And it came off, wow. So it bounced off Enner Valencia, I believe, straight into the path of Kalidou Koulibaly, who set himself and volleyed it into the back of the net. Side foot. Hits the left corner of the goal. Keeper has no chance. And Ecuador will be really disappointed with that, having just equalized a couple minutes before.
He said, give us that AFCON commentary, CM. Poor defense. Let me see that. Let me actually see this goal here. They're showing the replay now. Oh, it came off of Enner Valencia. Oh my days. Into the path of Koulibaly. And he scores. It's good for Senegal. They're keeping up the record. We need those 3 African teams to get through. Brilliant from Koulibaly for never stopping after that error from Enner Valencia.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Follow-up play there. Captain to captain.
Arman said, I'm not Senegalese or African, but I hope Senegal can win today. Same with Morocco and Ghana. Yeah, we're ready for this. We're ready for this. Friday is going to be a very interesting day. Grudge match, revenge season, all of that good stuff there. Morocco are going to do really well to get through to the World Cup last 16. I believe that would be the first time in their history as well. So that would be interesting still. So yeah, let's see. Let's see if all three can do it. Here comes the hater energy in the chat. There's bad hater energy, bro. Yes, big up man like Kendo as well. Alusise making Sub-Sahara proud. He's done a very good job with the Senegalese team. This is his second World Cup with the team. They also got through to the last 16 in the last edition of the World Cup in 2018, I believe. So he's done pretty well with his team. Obviously, don't forget he also played for Senegal as well in 2002. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm interested to see what it looks like when Holland have a real test, because they're moving the ball very slowly at walking pace. There's no intensity. Obviously, of course, they've won. They maybe don't respect their opponents as well, really, at any level. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of all forms when they face off in the round of 16 against potentially one of England, Iran, or the US.
Bamba Dieng and Palis Mendy getting ready to come on for Senegal. He's coming off and Ndai as well. The next 15 minutes are going to be important for Senegal, for both teams to be fair, but let's see if Senegal are able to defend this lead now. Would imagine that they're just going to sit back and maybe wait on an Ecuador mistake to try and counterattack and make the most out of that. But for the most part, it's going to be a situation where they'll be a little conservative with the way that they play, make sure that they're blocking the important passing lanes to make sure that it's not easy for Ecuador to get close to the box or even get one-on-one with that keeper.
Qatar on the counter attack. Ismail Mohammed coming forward, but there's still nobody with him.
Chance for Ecuador in the box and just goes straight to Mendy. Straight into Menzi's hands.
Qatar in behind. Oof. Noppert with the intervention. Saves with his legs from the cross.
Nice move by Sa. He goes down in the box. And they've given a corner kick to Senegal.
Final 10 minutes here, plus added time. Qatar on the ball now. Can they get a goal in front of their home fans to just sign themselves from the tournament? Let's see. They come forward. Santi saying, to answer Chino's question from earlier, I'm saying their front three of Vlahovic, Milic, and Chiesa would be good signings if the ship really does sink. I can't lie to you. I feel like Chiesa would stay. He'd be one of those that would stay. I think he'd be loyal to it. Plus, Italians don't generally leave Italy; they just stay. They just stay. But it would be a good signing, though. I do agree. If you could sign it for anybody, still. Weghorst has come on.
Oh, nice move
For
Here comes
Gakpo.
Senegal.
And Coop Miners has come on for Deroon. Hey, and then you're a hater, bro. The flag is staying up whether we go out or not. The flag stays up for the rest of the World Cup. It stays up. Another double change. Sorry. Another double change for Qatar. Ismail Mohammed and Abdulaziz Hatem coming off, and Musab Kadir and Ahmed Aladdin have come on. And then is now going by Mr. Agenda, according to Arman. Senegal are going to go through what Ghana went through during this game, cross after cross.
I think almost scoring there. It was a nice swift turn to get past the defender. Got past Estepinan too easy there, but the strike just went wide of the goal.
Another sub cut now but this time for the Netherlands. Frankie de Jong's coming off. Score of the second goal.
Drizzy still. Ecuador at this point, they're just trying to lump that ball up there, cross it in. They've yet to be able to find one of their players in the box. They've been close, but they just haven't been able to get a pinpoint crossing just yet. Just under 7 minutes to go now with plus added time. Ooh. And Valencia looks bewildered on the ground there. You look like he was able to go through on goal. And he got bumped and just went down. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. There's been some wild dives in this game so far today. And I'm sure that won't be the last. But he went down like he got shot. Jackson Barroso coming on for Angelo Preciado, Ecuadorian substitution. Seems like Ecuador now going to a three at the back. Sending those wingbacks forward to give them a bit more of a attacking threat in those wide areas.
Senegal need to go because the pain Ecuador's equalizer will hurt.
Good thing for Senegal is they have those counter-attacking opportunities now that Ecuador are pushing forward. There are those outlet opportunities, and Senegal have looked threatening. A few times they found themselves forward in the last, say, 10 minutes. They just need to take one of those opportunities, and I believe the game is over. But now, pressure on both sides. Ecuador trying. You can see the fans literally hands on their heads, looking concerned. Their team could be heading out of the World Cup. Still time.
We've got 6 minutes of additional time to be added on here. And we're into them now. Pretty comfortable win for the Netherlands as they run out as group winners. Can they get another goal to just seal it?
Yang does really well there to win a free kick for Senegal. And that is what they'll need to do. As soon as the ball gets up there, whether it's aerial threat, whether it's on the ground, protect the ball, slow down the game, keep possession.
Ooh, off the crossbar from, I believe it was Berghaus. Yep, Berghaus with a shot from outside the box. Curls it round his opposing defender, who looks like it was dropping into that top corner, but for the crossbar. Keeper Barsham was beaten. Oof. Berghaus with head in hands. Opportunity for a goal off the bench.
It's a good question still. You're up by 1 goal in a must-win game. At the very end, what would you do? Would you park the bus or go all out attack for another goal?
I'm parking the bus. I can't lie to you. I'm parking that bus.
That's the thing, innit? Because you gotta protect that lead. You go all out attacking, all of a sudden, the defensive line is high up. Those counter-attacking opportunities, if you give away the ball, just the pressure of having to get back, exert that energy on both ends of the floor, mistakes can come. Obviously, if you do part the bus, mistakes can come as well if you allow the opposition team to push your defensive line further back towards your area.
Mm.
Like what Drizzy said, 6 minutes added time in this game, just given.
Man, like Reese in here. What you saying, my bro?
Yes, what are you saying?
You good?
Come on, bro. Yeah, I'm saying 3 lines on the shirt and all that today. You get me?
Are you gonna be about later for that game?
Yeah. I'll be there, man.
Come.
Yeah. What's going on right now?
We're doing I'm doing Netherlands, Qatar. CM's doing Senegal, Ecuador.
Yeah, I just saw Koulibaly's goal.
Yeah,
man. How you lot finding the World Cup?
You know what? Yeah, it's been calm so far. There's been some good games. There's been some dead games. I'm not gonna lie. It's a weird one because I feel like at the start, especially with the media coverage, a lot of people were trying to downplay this World Cup before it even started because of the political stuff and not everything that's happening around it. But I don't think it's been a bad World Cup, to be honest.
yeah. It's been all right. Like I feel like I watched a few dead rubber games. I can't lie to you, brother. I saw Morocco versus Croatia that ended 0-0. South Korea, Uruguay weren't that great, but yeah, it's been warming up slowly, innit? It's been warming up slowly. We've seen some good games too, some good performances and whatnot. But yeah, just hoping that it warms up a little bit more. I think this next few days, because we're in the final group games now, there's a lot to play for, so we'll start to see a bit more intensity with some of these games. So,
what is it about, bruv? Do you know what? Same as CM, you know, I felt like the media tried to downplay it and that, but you know what? Football always come through, man. You know what I'm saying? That once the games start rolling, I mean, you're gonna have dead games. That's normal, innit? People don't want to lose, innit? You know, but yeah, once the games start rolling, bro, that's when you feel into it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I'm enjoying it right now, man. It's some good games happening now. Do you know what I mean? But what I want to say is, what's going on with Ghana, bruv? They're always going for some controversial, bruv. I'm saying that. 1 minute it's Uruguay, next minute is Portugal, bruv. Like, you know what I'm saying? They can't catch a break, man.
No, we're good. Like, I mean, look, Friday's gonna be an interesting game. I just want my revenge, bruv. I just want my
100%.
revenge. I just want my revenge, bro, because it still hurts me to this day, fam. It still hurts, bro. That was 12 years ago. It hurts.
Yeah. Bro, I can still picture it, bruv. I swear, was it Wembley? Was it Wembley?
Nah, bro. This was in South Africa, bro.
Okay, yeah, of course it was in South Africa. Yeah.
I was hurt, bro.
Yeah.
I told man already. I stood up for 60 minutes in my parents' house. The whole 60 minutes, like, so from I think it was, let's say, so the second half, 60th minute, all the way to extra time and penalties. I stood up. I didn't sit down once, bro, because it was that real. Fam, I need my revenge on Friday. I need my revenge. Send them 100%. Back. Send them back home packing, and we are through to the next round. Probably face Brazil. I know that's going to be a tough game. We'll probably lose and we'll go home. But I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, because we took out Uruguay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, for sure, man.
Netherlands is finished. They full time 2-0 to the Netherlands. They are through as group winners, and now the dying seconds of this Ecuador game, fam. Because they've actually switched over on ITV1 still. So let's see, fam.
Going into the last 2 minutes of the game.
Ooh,
Senegal gonna have to stay switched on, but there was a chance there.
But how you been doing, though, Reese? You been good? You recovering well, man. You recovering well?
Yeah. From my operation, yeah, I have, man. I'm just honestly, I just can't wait to get back to like proper sports, man. I miss it.
What happened, bro?
So I tore my ACL, you know, about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I'd done about 12 months of physio. Went back to football, and then I tore my meniscus, but I didn't even realize. So my knee kept on a bit of meniscus kept on getting locked in my knee. So my knee would lock. So to be honest, I kind of hung up my boots. But yeah, it just kind of got worse and worse over the years, especially like when it got cold. So I finally got a date for operation and just did it, man. So yeah, just recovering.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked, bro. Speedy recovery, man.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, man.
Come on.
So you lot got down for winning the World Cup?
I said Brazil. I can't lie. I did pick them. You know, going into it. They ain't really played too well. The Neymar situation is interesting because obviously he's injured for the final group game as well. He was out for yesterday and then the group game. He's gonna be key to their hopes, I think, because of the creativity. You know what I'm saying, in midfield. But then obviously we was talking about it before. We was like, we've watched everybody now, yeah. Who's really stood out for you out of everybody though, Reese?
I'll be honest with you, like probably France, maybe. Like they haven't really fight. They look like they're playing quite well. Do you know what I feel like the World Cup right now? There's just going to be a few dark horses in the last stages, man. You know what I mean? I think Morocco will go far, simply because they've got so much support. But yeah, if I had to put my money on one team, it'd probably be Brazil. Yeah, it'd probably be Brazil, man.
Trust me.
Yeah. They look like Casemiro's goal yesterday, bro.
I'm just glad.
Different gravy, innit?
I'm just glad he plays for United. That's what I was.
Trust me, bro.
I'm just glad he plays for United, bro.
I tell you, if we were sitting there now with Scott McTominay as a DM, bro, we would be screaming at the screen.
I'm telling you. NN's got a question for you, Reece, though. And what position did you play?
So, bruv, I've had 3 positions, you know. I was a striker, and as age caught me, I went down to right wing and then failed right winger to right back. So I finished off at right back, man.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I was a bit like a Patrice Evra. On the right side. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, up and down the wing, man.
Senegal.
Yeah.
What a result.
Trust me,
man.
They deserve it, man.
They deserve this still. This is crazy. Like the rise of the country under Aliou Cisse. Like to obviously win AFCON earlier on this year and now qualify for the knockout stages. Could potentially face England in the round of 16 on Saturday. That's all down to what happens tonight. But yeah, that's a great result for Senegal to come out of this group.
And you know what? For me, like, what do you know what the most important thing is? That they've got an African manager. You know what I'm saying? They've got someone from their hometown that just leading the line, bro. Do you know what I mean? That's
and they're doing it without Mane as well, their best player, their key player as well. Let's not forget that. They've been able to battle through this group without their key player. They still got some key players. They're Mendy, Koulibaly, Idrissa Gueye, but he's going to be suspended for that game on Saturday, unfortunately. But yeah, this is good to see, and we're hoping to see 3 African teams in the last 16. Morocco have a big opportunity of qualifying potentially as even group winners. You know, like which is going to be
Canada
big.
are out, isn't it? So
yeah, Canada are out, and then obviously is really down to what happens between because obviously Morocco play Canada, Croatia, Belgium play face off with each other, which a loser goes home there. Simple as whoever loses in that game between those two is going home. A draw is not good for either side. Morocco, I think, will beat Canada, but it should be interesting. Should be very interesting still.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. You know, I'd love to see an African team in the final. You know,
me too, but I think we're a bit too far away from it.
You know, but you listen, the World Cup, man, anything can happen.
It can.
You know what I mean?
I was hoping it was 2010. I was hoping.
Like remember, every game's a final, isn't it? There's no legs or, you know what I mean? Every game's a final now once you get to the quarters. So anything can happen, man. But it's you know, it's funny. Like it's nice to see like that. There's so much African support as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, if you know, someone made a tweet, and I agree with it. Like, if this World Cup was in Europe or it was in America, bro, how much support would they have got? Do you know what I mean? So because I know America ain't giving no visas to no Ghanaians or Nigerians.
Yeah, it's true. It's actually true. You know, that's going to be actually very interesting how they handle that situation, because are they going to relax their visa laws to allow people to travel from certain places? Because
they should, man. You know what I'm saying?
Should, but I don't know because obviously that's a political thing, isn't it? Like, you know, like they have to make changes within their legislation before even doing something like that. So, and it depends on who's in charge at that time, because
it shows how
Donald is apparently trying to throw his hat in the ring again, fam, to go for 20.
Yeah, because he is.
When the election is, I think the election is in 24 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, so that's going to be long.
It's going to show how serious they are about hosting the World Cup. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's long. It's all long, because you already know that country's a bit tapped still. It's a bit tapped. But yo, hey, we're gonna wrap this one up right here, man. Reece, bro, you coming back for 7 o'clock?
Yeah, I'll be back there. Yeah, I'll be back, man. What time are you guys logging on?
6:50 probably. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll catch you then, man.
All right, man. But yeah, people, make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribe button as well if you're new. Big up to man like CM as well. Came into the building, was doing a commentary on that Senegal game. He gave them a bit of good luck as they got through to the round of 16 under Aliou Cisse, and obviously the Netherlands getting a routine win against Qatar to go through as group winners. We'll be back very, very shortly in about under 2 hours time. We're going to watch England versus Wales, and we're also going to watch the other game, the USA versus Iran. Some more of the man that will be in here, so we'll we'll be able to watch some of these games together and give you a bit of reaction and that. But yeah, we'll be back in a bit, people. Peace.
Peace.